First item on the agenda is citizen concerns. Are there any concerned citizens? Seeing none, item 2 is approval of the agenda. I'll move that.
Second.
Second by Radig. Hearing no discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those say nay. Passes 4-0. Items 3 through 9 constitute a consent agenda of routine action items to be considered by one motion. Items pass unanimously unless a separate vote is requested by a board member. Item 3 is approval of the minutes of the February 11th meeting. Item 4 is approval of the claims. Item 5 from Board Administration includes A, approval of resolution for a tax suspension for initials DH, and B, approval of resolution thanking and commending Donald Haar for his years of service with Woodbury County. Item 6 from Human Resources includes A, approval of the memorandum of personnel transactions. Item B, authorization to initiate hiring process. And C, approval of retiree requests to remain on county dental insurance and have the supplemental health insurance plan. Item 7 from Juvenile Detention is to receive the Juvenile Detention January population report. Item 8 includes A, to receive the Commission of Veteran Affairs first quarterly report, and B, to receive the Commission of Veteran Affairs second quarterly report. Item 9 from the County Treasurer includes A, approval of resolution for a tax abatement for Lake Forest Mobile Home Park, and B, approval of resolution for a tax abatement for Estates West. Are there any questions on these items? If not, is there a motion to approve?
Move it.
Second.
Motion by DeWitt, second by Radig to approve the consent agenda. Hearing no discussion. All's in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 4-0. A couple minutes ahead of our 4:35 p.m. set time, so if we could go to item 11 from Human Resources. This is approval to purchase new hire export services from NeoGov to integrate with Tyler software. I believe we have a replacement for Melissa Thomas here today.
You're Melissa and Pat?
Michelle Scaff, Deputy
We'll have to
Auditor.
teleport back to type the minutes.
Melissa and I have worked together on this because this is kind of ties into the Tyler project, and a couple of weeks ago I had mentioned that we would be coming back to you with this item. There's a system called NeoGov where individuals can apply for jobs with the county, and it interacts with the Tyler software. We do have to pay a $3,000 upstart with NeoGov in order to implement this, and there's a $1,500 charge per year from NeoGov in addition to the expenses that have already been approved within Tyler, which is I think about $750 a year. And overall it is a savings. It's a more efficient way of allowing the employees to enter their own personal information, which would import directly into Tyler. So the request is to approve this motion.
Where are we getting the money for that? Is that in the?
The recommendation is $3,000. It's a one-time expense. I'll gain your revenues, and I'll turn us down a little further, but we'll be fine in that. The rest will be out of our budget. It's an annual cost.
It's coming out of HR's budget after this?
Yes.
Okay.
All we're going to cover is the $3,000. She's going to cover the $1,500 annual fee.
I'll move approval.
Second the motion by DeWitt. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 4-0. We're now at our 4:35 p.m. set time, which is item 10A from the public bidder. This is a public hearing and sale of a property parcel ending in 003. Public hearing is now open for anyone who wishes to speak for or against this item.
So is this like a direct sale or somebody?
Heather?
It's a correction.
Yeah, both of these have been placed on the agenda specifically to correct the legal description where the addition was left out of the deed, the quitclaim deed, when they did purchase these. So all I'm doing is fixing the legal for them.
Okay.
And it wasn't caught until after their deed was recorded. So
Joshua, would the motion need to be to sell as the backup material states, or simply to receive, or?
Yeah, I mean, it would be a sale. Heather and I talked about this, and basically it's
Any other comments on this? I'll move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Second by DeWitt. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Passes 4-0. I'll move to sell the said parcel to Kevin Rayevich for $763 plus recording fees.
I'll second.
Second by Radig. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Passes 4-0. We're now at our 4:36 PM set time, which is item 10B, public hearing and sale of a property parcel, also known as 2205 West 2nd Street. Public hearing is now open. Is there anyone who would like to speak? Hearing none, I'd move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
Second by Radig. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 4-0. We're now receiving motions for the sale.
I'll move to sell the parcel to Jose and Teresa Sanchez for $525 plus recording fees.
I'll second the motion by Radig. Any discussion? No. No discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 4-0. Item 12 for Emergency Services, Director Gary Brown, is review of the Emergency Services Volunteer Program.
Having a new HR director, we had a new volunteer that wanted to join, and she wasn't as familiar with the program as what Ed was when he was here. And I think she talked to the chair and recommended that I come in and just kind of review what we're doing with our volunteer program. And really what it's intended to do is we're looking for volunteers from inside of Woodbury County. We're not trying to steal volunteers away from other squads. Matter of fact, the volunteers have to have the permission of their ambulance or fire chief to volunteer with us. We modeled our program in 2017 just identical to what the sheriff's doing with the reserve program. And so they actually become a county employee on paper. They have to go through the whole background check and physical and all of that stuff. And we cover them for workman's comp. They're required to provide their own uniform. And, you know, we don't want a lot of volunteers. What we're looking for is to take some young people that are interested in furthering their education, furthering their schools, to get a little bit of experience. And we're a busy enough squad that, and they get a long transport time, so the students get a lot of opportunity to work with a patient, or the volunteers get a lot of opportunity to work with a patient. They're always under the watchful eye of one of the paid staff. We don't ship them off solo. They're usually always with a paid staff person. If we had a mass casualty, they might end up with their own patient, but these are all people that are qualified, certified by, just like the staff is. But the whole program is just to sort of help young people out in rural Woodbury County, and that's all we accept people from is from Woodbury County. And they have to serve on a Woodbury County Fire EMS service. So we have a new young lady that wanted to join, and Melissa thought I should just come before the board and see if the board is aware of what we're doing and see if the board had any questions.
Is there a current roster or how?
Currently, we have one, and we're not looking at going over 6. If I wanted to go over 6, I would come back to the board and say, hey, can I expand past 6? We're not looking for 20 or 30 or 40 people. We want to be able to focus on a very small group of people and help them move their skill set along and try to encourage them to get involved in higher education and give them better skills to work in their own community. We've always had a volunteer program, and then when we moved to Climbing Hill, it kind of withered on the vine. And now that I'm back to Climbing Hill, I'm trying to see what we can do to help with the EMS in the rural area. And when I'm back there full time, it's just a matter of, we think this is a good thing for the volunteers. We're not out to take them away from anybody else's squad. They have to have permission from their department that they're volunteering with, their chief, in order to sign up with us.
Do you know what the cost is to the county to insure these volunteers?
No. It's not any different probably than a paid employee, and I don't know what the work comp is for that, or
It'd probably be already figured into what we're what our policy covers, isn't
Yeah.
it?
The ICWA, the insurance company is aware that we have a volunteer program, and we treat the volunteer just like paid staff. They have to go through orientation, they have to follow all the SOPs, they have to do everything, there's no division between a paid and a volunteer. They're treated exactly the same, other than they don't get a paycheck. It's very similar to what the sheriff's doing with the reserve program. The reserve officers, difference is the reserve officers can go out and act on their own, where we probably wouldn't let a volunteer go out and act on their own, maybe first aid at the state or the county fair or something like that, but, and, you know, we've got a new person that wants to join, very sharp, great opportunity for her to advance her skills. And questions? Like I said, if I go past 6, if I want to go past 6, I'll come back to the board for permission to go past 6. But right now, I want to keep it very small, very controlled. We are doing some work with some of the students out in the rural area that are in the EMT class. They'll come out and do clinicals or training with our staff. We'll run them through their skill sets and help prepare them for their EMT tests, which that's been very good. So, and we're still trying to recruit for a fall EMT class at Climbing Hill, a countywide EMT class at Climbing Hill. We were going to run it this spring, but we only had 7 and we need 12, so we're going to spend the summer recruiting and see if we can get that number up. And those people will come from all the services in the area.
So what duties do you want them to prioritize?
They work right alongside the EMTs and rescue they do everything right along with us. And it's just a matter of they're another set of hands in the back of the ambulance. All of our staff is pretty seasoned, and they like teaching. They like helping younger people move their skill sets forward. I think everybody on my staff teaches at some level throughout the county, at some skill. They all teach, and that's what we're doing, is we're just taking these young people, putting them with us. We've kept the trucks where we've got a 3rd seat for them to ride, and they're basically doing the exact same job.
Any questions?
I'm fine with it.
Melissa just felt that it would be important to come back to the board. There's 2 new faces and stuff, and last time we were here was 17, so, all right. If you ever have any questions on it, give me a holler.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Item 13 from Secondary Roads is approval of resolution committing funds and project maintenance for Dallas Avenue road improvements.
Good afternoon. Once again this year we're applying for funds from the RPA to assist in the cost of a concrete pavement replacement project. This would be K42 running from City of Sloan where it intersects Old Highway 75 going up to 280th Street, which is just south of the dairies, and then going around the corner to pick up where we left off with the 280th Street paving project. I think that was back in 2013. We're proposing a $3 million project, requesting $1.5 million in SERPTA funds and $1.5 million that would be paid out of the County Farm Market Fund. So I recommend the board approve the resolution, and the application is due this Friday, the 21st.
I'll move it.
Second the motion by Radig. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 4-0.
Requires the chair's signature and the auditor. Madam Deputy.
Item 14 is from the Community and Economic Development Department. This is approval of a resolution approving the deferment of loan payments for the Correctionville Economic Development Corporation. Supervisor Radig and I met with these folks, and I do believe they've done their due diligence to this point to the county, and it's in everyone's best interest to approve this and hope that its sale is resolved quickly. Have any extra thoughts?
Yeah, it's building that needs to get sold, and when it's sold, we'll get paid. So,
So I'll move to approve the resolution.
Second.
Second by DeWitt. Any other discussion? All's in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 4-0. Item 15 for Board Administration, again, is a public forum for questions and discussions of the Woodbury County Law Enforcement Center project, the March 3rd public referendum, and the duties of the intergovernmental authority.
we had a couple more to receive, didn't we? You got those?
Oh, they're up. Didn't we put them in your file?
Oh, did you? I don't know. I thought I checked it, but I don't remember.
Yeah, we finished with Sergeant Bluff and
They're not in here.
also Bronson. There was 100% support from both councils.
Additionally, Mr. Radig and I and Dennis attended the Farm Bureau,
That went good.
and that went well.
Seemed like 100% support there, too.
And
I
they had,
didn't ask them all to sign letters, but that was,
They're actually going to send something out in their newsletter, I believe. I think the chair or the president of the Farm Bureau said they're going to send them out in a newsletter supporting it.
well, they had questions, and we were able to answer them. I think that was encouraging. The more information you get, the more supportive someone generally is about the project, and there was some added context that a lot of people in the room knew about the issues when they happened. So to some extent, it wasn't very much of a surprise that when a jail fills up within 2 years, there's going to be problems going down the road.
also had a couple meetings on Sunday at a couple different churches, discussed with members, active members there that were from Woodbury County. Kind of a, interesting story from that discussion is a gentleman that came up to us afterward asked what kind of medical facilities was going to be in the new facility, and he asked because his son had died in the jail across the street in 2012, and so it was nice to be able to show him in our plans. We do have a medical facility that's, planned to be able to hold more than one person at a time, because our drive to the hospital will be about 10 minutes, but at least this way, they'll have more access in the jail itself or the LEC moving forward. But that was somebody that, had overdosed on drugs, and it was somebody's kid, even though, most society looks at people that go into jail as somebody that doesn't have value to society, but everybody in that building has value to somebody in their life. So as a supervisor, it kind of humbles you to, understand that, yeah, you are taking care of people that have broken the law, have screwed up and made mistakes, but they're still people, and you still take care of them. And I respect our guys that do that over there every day. So.
Mr. DeWitt, on the authority, any updates?
I was gone last week, so not that involved in some of the ongoings, but I understand that the LEC authority has released some YouTube videos of former Sheriff Amick, Chief Mueller from Sioux City PD, and others, and those have been received quite well on the YouTube or Facebook extensions. So, yeah, it's still a work in progress.
Very good. Anything else from the board? Updates on the jail? Any staff updates? Any questions from the public? I'm not hearing anything.
5,400 views is what they're up
Everyone
to.
must have all had all their questions answered. All right. Good deal. These things worked. Item 16 is reports on committee meetings. Anyone?
I got a 2080 over to PJ, and he sent it on to Mr. Woodman, and They'll get that back to me. We'll have that probably on the agenda next week. Well, not next week, right? 2 weeks? Right, so, but I'll meet with the workforce development group again here on the 20th to kind of hammer out where we're at on workforce development.
Anybody else? Item 17 again.
We had a security meeting too last week, and everything that had been addressed, I think they answered any questions that were concerns that were brought up. There's just one door at the facility over there that they got to remember to pull tight because of the seasonal expansion of metal. Contraction in this case.
Mr. Chairman, I had one thing for the board concerns, if I could.
Sure.
Next Thursday, the 27th, is the hearing for the environmental assessment for the IGR project. That'll be held at the Sergeant Bluff Community Center. It runs roughly from 4 until 6 o'clock. From 4 until 4:30, it'll just be opportunity to go around, speak with the designers, consultants, and those who did the environmental assessment on the project. At 4:40 to 4:45 roughly, the formal public hearing will begin with a slide presentation showing the environmental assessment, the proposed location. After that, it'll be eligible for public content or comments. So any board members that would be able to attend, I think you'd find it informative, and you'd be able to hear the public feedback directly then as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Will we have a quorum there? I won't be there. No? Okay.
I won't.
On to board concerns. I believe everyone in this room already knows except the media representative, but I'll be out of the country February 20th to March 5th, during which time Vice Chair Radig will be acting chair. There will also be no Board of Supervisors meeting next week, so agenda items will be on the following week. And that's what I have. Any other board concerns? All right, then we'll move on to the budget review discussion for FY21. First is A, this is from WCICC, to reduce the allocation by $40,154. This is the county's share of some improvement requests that were denied by the city of Sioux City and accordingly cannot be affirmed in any case. So I'll move to remove that allocation.
Second.
Second by Radig. Any discussion? Is that number still accurate, Dennis?
Correct.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 4-0. Item B, further budget reviews. I believe, Dennis, you have something you can bring up for us?
Yes, we were in contact with the Sheriff's Hall. We talked to Todd Wick, and Todd talked to Dave Drew. With their car expense of $280,000, they can actually reduce $20,000 because they aren't sure of the price yet, but they feel $20,000 would be a good cut to reduce their motor vehicle purchase line item.
Okay, do we have a line item on that?
I can get one.
Any thoughts on that?
Well, that was one that we had discussed a couple of weeks back, Dennis and I and Todd, because that was the changeover from the four-wheel drive cars that are no longer available to the Durangos, and they were kind of estimating a price, so he estimated a little higher.
The Durangos are more money than the Chargers.
Yeah.
By quite a bit.
The actual line item is under the Sheriff's Administration budget, line item 63,500, 63500. They have 264, will be reduced down to 244 through board action.
a motion on that?
Yeah, I'll move that. That's 2,500 per vehicle is what the figure comes out.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Radig, second by Potabom. Any discussion on this? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 4-0. Dennis, any updates on the budget in general? What does that put us at as far as another $0.015 decrease?
The decrease is 1.14 cents, so actually on our county-wide levies, we're actually going down 2.74 cents. On the townships, we're going down 3.74 cents.
What was the spending overall increase on general basic from last year?
Overall increase, I can tell you that here. $876,000. I'm rounding off to even money here.
That's even after the reductions? Or
No,
did,
the 60,000 a day will be
so 816 or?
816, correct. Our next project will be passing the,
Does that, sorry, Dennis, does that influence the countywide or is that just one fund?
influence the general basic fund and countywide.
Okay.
And our countywide last year was what,
For,
or what dollar amount overall? So we're talking like, is this still about a 5% increase?
approximately, on the budget-wise.
What were you saying, Dennis?
Okay, on March 10th is our next hearing date. That'll be held at 4:45, and that one is a notice of public hearing for proposed property tax levy. That is the one where if we aren't down to 2%, then we have to have a supermajority pass that resolution. This case, it means 4-0. Because we're still 5-man, we're down to 4, so it means 4-0. To get down to 2%, we'd have to reduce another 480,000 more to get down to the 2%. We have to reduce 20,000 more, approximately a little bit more than that, to get down to 2%. If we're at the 2% levels, then it does not take a supermajority, it takes a simple majority. But once you go 2%, $1 over, that makes it a supermajority. Now, if we can't get a supermajority, the consequences are a little bit severe, because I cannot publish a budget until we have a 4-0 vote or reduce down to 2%, which takes a simple majority, which means if I can't publish it, we don't have a budget March 31st to act on. And I don't want to really go much further than that. We just hope we don't get to that situation.
Well, the 2% wouldn't even cover the wage increases.
No. Wage increases countywide are around 666,000 total county.
And then we had about 127 to maintenance over across the street of the LEC. And then what, about 27,000 on the autopsies increase, was it?
Yep. And a lot of that's mandated. There's nothing we can do about
Right.
it. If we have to reduce further, it could potentially, if we're talking a big number, it could be people. The number we're looking at now, just to get 2%, there may be possible ways we can go back and review a few items and see if we can get down to that. Or we can hope we get a 4-0 vote.
Questions, thoughts? Nope. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Dennis. Anything else for the good of the cause? No further business, we are adjourned.